Today with Woodland Spy, we come up against two very interesting matchups in Pauper. One where two ships are passing each other in the night, and so it's a race to the finish line. And the other one where it technically still is a race, but there's a little bit of interaction, so you have to play around what your opponent is doing. I think there's some great teachable moments here. Enjoy the two games. First up, we actually have a really decent 7. If I can find an enabler here, a way to mill myself, this is great. I have a lot of mana accelerants. I have a way to get my land, and it's great. Now, I'm thinking pawns are across the table, which is kind of problematic, but it's okay. I play my Tinder Wall. They have a forest out. At least I'm not getting turn 2 and my land destroyed, but the forest cycling is interesting. Why would they get rid of that? But thankfully, I see that I'm up against walls. Now, again, two ships passing in the night, as I mentioned. I play my Wild Cantor out, and I'm actually good here. I have more than enough mana, more than enough resources. The problem is they are finding their combo pieces as fast as they need to. So this is a problem. I need to get something going. But hey, honestly, I have my two Wild Cantors out and a Tinder Wall. There's no question of whether or not I can go off. I just need some type of enabler, and I even have the colors for it, but they're going off. They're playing a bunch of spells that give themselves haste, and they play the Shield Wall Sentinel, which gives them the Drift of Phantasms. With the amount of mana they have, it's now or never. I don't draw it, and honestly, I'm just going to concede, especially with the tutor that they have. It's not worth going through this. Let's go to game 2. So in this matchup, you don't really board in much against each other, and at least we have a way to find a land here. Again, the same case where we need an enabler, but I trust myself here. And again, really what they can bring in against us is life gain, which is a problem if we don't have enough creatures, and especially with 4 Simian Spirit Guides in my hand. They could put themselves high enough in life total where this doesn't matter anymore. So I play on my 2 Tinder Walls. Again, I have enough mana to do what I want when I need to. The Cabal Ritual is kind of dead, but I find the Balustrade Spy. I managed to go off, and look, that's as simple as it gets. Again, they're not going to have much interaction whatsoever. I mill myself out. I get the Dread return with the Dregscape Zombies. I play the Lotleth Giant, and the combo goes off. But as you can see, they're not doing much against me. I'm not doing much against them. The thing I have to dodge, hopefully, is life gain. Otherwise, let's go to game 3. It's almost like we're playing a couple games of speed magic. Now, I have to maul twice there, but this hand isn't bad. I have a way to find my lands, and Street Wraiths are great with the Songs of the Dam, including a Tinder Wall, because, hey, I'm putting stuff into my graveyard. Now, Street Wraiths put 2 cards in my graveyard. Tinder Wall could be one as well. So this Songs of the Dam could be a Dark Ritual. Now, the Healer of the Glade, giving them 3 life. That's important, but alas, I don't have Simian Spirit Guides in my hand, so those are probably going to go to the graveyard, which is nice. I play my Tinder Wall, and I am just waiting for an enabler. What's nice about not having to switch my land here is all my black lands are live, and the post-board games can be a little tough when you're trying to find a way to combo off, but I find the Balustrade Spy, I'm able to go off, and honestly, more than enough creatures. Even though I have a Dregscape Zombie here, the Balustrade Spy is perfect, or else I wouldn't have been able to go off with the other source. I play my 2 Dregscape, I play my Dread return, and I play my Lotleth Giant. Again, I do want to reiterate here, the thing you want to be careful with is, even though I had Dregscape Zombie in hand, the perfect card to win with there was the Balustrade Spy. If I drew the other 5 mana one, it wouldn't have put a creature onto the battlefield. So there's these small things you have to worry about. And again, remember, Simian Spirit Guide does not put the card into the graveyard. You exile the Simian Spirit Guide, so it doesn't count towards your graveyard count. So it's a little suboptimal to have stuff like that against the life gain deck. Anyway, you live and you learn. Let's head on to match number 2 against Burn. Match number 2 is a fun one. I have to mulligan twice here, which isn't great, but I have the enabler. I have a Street Wraith. Unfortunately, I'm on the play, which is a really weird thing to say, but I want more resources. I want to be able to draw into my combo pieces. So it actually potentially would have been in my favor if I knew what was going on, obviously, to do that. Now, they're against, I'm up against Burn here. They have the Kuldotha Rebirth. That's actually really aggressive, which is nice. I find a way to find my land. Now it's just mana sources. I can play Wild Cantor on my next turn, Street Wraith in yard, Songs of the Dam, Generous Ent. There's so many things I can do here. And one thing that we have to work with is, because they have a land untapped, we actually don't want to go off. I'm gonna pause here and provide a bit of a learning moment. The thing that you have to worry about against red. So if we pause right here, we're gonna see that if we play the Wild Cantor, we generally can go off here with the Lotus Petal. We're going to be able to, Wild Cantor, put a Generous Ent into the yard. Songs of the Dam becomes a Dark Ritual. We play Lotus Petal, and that is the exact amount of mana we need to Balustrade Spy and 2 Dregscape, blah, blah, blah. But you don't want to do that against burn with untapped mana, because they could just lightning bolt one of your creatures in response to your second Dregscape or your first Dregscape, whatever you want, because Balustrade Spy is a 2/3. So you really have to be careful with moments like this, and you'll see just how we play it. Let's continue the recording here. We play the Wild Cantor, and we actually just pass. We play around this really well, and our opponent falls for the bait. They end up galvanic blasting. We sacrifice at the end to Generous Ent, and again turning our Songs of the Damned into a dark ritual with the Street Wraith in the graveyard. Fortunately for us, they actually tap out. They attack with 3, and we're perfectly safe here. But the last teachable moment that I want to kind of provide here is just pausing here. We're going to play our Songs of the Damned, but notice that they have a artifact land and a mountain. Now, I'm going to play around this like they had 2 mountains. If they had 2 mountains, they would have been able to fire blast us. And so I'm going to show you the route that I would take if I was playing around that. But you could just win without doing this. One last step, you don't need to cast the Rite of Flame. But again, this is a good teachable moment. Take this route if you see 2 mountains, because a Fire Blast is not the thing you want to lose to if you have exactly enough creatures. If you have more than enough mana and you can cast 3 Dregscapes, go for it. But again, look at the route I take. I cast my Songs of the Damned, I cast my Rite of Flame, and then I cast Balustrade with 1 black. I leave the Songs of the Damned until after my whole graveyard is milled over, giving me more than enough mana where if they Fire Blast one of my creatures, I can still cast 3 Dregscape Zombies. And now I can go off, I can cast my Dread Return and Lotleth Giant. You know the whole shebang, and it's great there. So again, teachable moment. Play around your opponent's interaction, especially if they're knowledgeable with the matchup. Going into game 2, I have to mulligan a pretty damn deep here. As you're going to see, I am down to 4. It's not looking good this game, but hey, we still got plenty ahead of us. They play out a relic early, and unfortunately, I don't even really have a good way to get a land, but I didn't want to go down further, especially on the draw. You can't really win that early with hands like this. I believe the ideal turn 1 can even only happen with a, mull to 5 on the draw, and that way you have enough resources. But here, hoping to get some type of free source into the Troll of Khazad-dûm. They have a Voldirian Epic here. They have some mana up for the Relic of Progenitus, so it's not looking great whatsoever. Now, I just can't find a way to get my land. I'm not going to bother, especially now that they're just going to keep attacking with the Epic here, hold up Relic. They're not in any rush, and they can always interact with us. Let's just go to game 3. Redemption time, game 3. I have double enabler, but I have the way to get my land. I have 2 Street Wraiths, and come on, the Street Wraiths themselves, along with the Wild Cantor, make the Songs of the Damned a couple of dark rituals. I actually have a way to go off pretty damn well here, and as the Simian Spirit Guide can almost act like a good way to kind of deal with what's going on here. And the Relic is Simian Spirit Guide to ramp out, but the Relic is a little precarious. I am a little worried about that, but fortunately enough, guess what, folks? We're able to go off on our turn 2 while they're tapped out. They can't do anything here. They can only activate Relic. I exile my land grant, and that's how the cookie crumbles. We were able to get faster than them. We didn't even need our Artifact Hate to beat them. We cast our Dregscape Zombies, and then we Dread Return, and we Lotleth Giant. You just got to take advantage of the windows you have. Really be aware of the mana that you can use in that moment. And you know what? You find yourself the victory. GG's, Woodland Spy. It's actually not too bad when you know the cases you need to play against.